Heyo! You're thinking about moving to Apopka, Florida, and you want the real story, not just the pitch? I'm Believen Steven with eXp Realty, and I'm standing in what's probably the most overlooked suburb in the entire Orlando metro, Apopka. Population 61,000, second largest in all of Orange County, 20 minutes northwest of downtown Orlando. And here's the thing, almost nobody on YouTube is talking about, which means either you're early to something great or there's a reason people aren't talking about it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one it is for you. This city has been around since 1882. Real history, real character, and it's growing at a pace that is genuinely stressing the infrastructure. And we're gonna get really specific about that, because the growth story here is the single most important thing to understand before you put in an offer anywhere in this area. I want to give you a quick lay of the land first, because a lot of people don't realize how well positioned this city actually is. Apopka sits right at the junction 441 and 436. It borders Winter Garden to the south and Sanford to the northeast, and it's got direct access to the 429, the Western Beltway, which is either a huge selling point or completely irrelevant depending on where you work. And we'll get to that. Coming from California, I made that exact move myself. When I first saw what 390,000 buys in Apopka compared to what I left behind in California, I had to sit down and double check. Real square footage, real yard, trees, and space. So let's get into the numbers. Let's talk numbers, because this is where Apopka starts to make the real argument for itself. Median home price right now, about $390,000, down about 1% from last year. Price per square foot, 208 bucks. For context, Winter Garden is running around 250 a foot. Dr. Phillips is closer to 300. Lake Nona is pushing 280 and climbing. The math in Apopka works in a way that most of Orlando Metro simply no longer does. New construction communities here, Kelly Park Crossing and Errol Estate, are the two biggest and active ones. HOA fees running roughly $100 to $200 a month. And there are older established Apopka neighborhoods with zero HOA, which for a lot of buyers coming from California or the Northeast can be a real emotional experience. No HOA, imagine that. The cost of living index here is 95 against the national average of 100. You are less here than the national average to exist. Median household income in Apopka is just under $98,000, which tells you this isn't a struggling market. There are real working families here making solid money and choosing to stay, rent. If you're not ready to buy, median is around 1,700 bucks a month. That's genuinely reasonable for the Orlando metro area right now, where 2,000 plus becomes the new normal in places like Horizon West and Lake Nona. And the one that never gets old, Florida has no state income tax, zero. For someone relocating from California, that line alone sometimes closes the conversation. I know. It changed my family's financial picture the day we crossed the state line. All right, here's where I get straight with you, because the best thing I can do is not sell you on this city. Pro 1, the schools. Apopka High School carries a B+ rating on niche. 3 football state championships since 2001. A medical career magnet program that actually prepares kids for healthcare jobs. Wolf Lake Elementary and Apopka Elementary are both well regarded inside the Orange County system, which is the largest school district in Florida. For families, this matters more than almost anything else on the list. Pro 2, outdoor access. This is a flat out elite for Central Florida. Wekiwa Springs State Park, 7,000 acres, crystal clear 72-degree spring water year-round. Kayaking, hiking, camping, all right here. It got so popular, they added a mandatory advanced reservations starting September 2025. That is how good this park is. Kelly Park on East Kelly Park Road is where you go to Rock Springs Run, one of the most beautiful natural waterways in this entire state. And the Lake Apopka Wildlife Drive is a legitimate world-class birding destination. This outdoor infrastructure is not a marketing line. It is a real quality of life advantage that you cannot manufacture in Horizon West or Lake Nona. Pro 3, the community feel. Local sentiment score among residents, in 2025 is 76 out of 100. The word that comes up over and over is real, not curated, not polished. Real people, real neighborhoods, genuine small town energy in a city that's growing fast. That combination is harder to find than people realize. Now the cons. Pay attention here, because this is the part that will save you from making a very expensive mistake. Con 1, the traffic. And I don't mean inconvenient traffic, I mean Orange County launched a formal transportation study in January 2026 called Nowcats, covering 44 intersections and 27 roadways in northwest Orange County, specifically because multiple major roads here are already exceeding their design capacity. The residents packed the cafeteria for the meeting. One homeowner said it right. Before the community was fully developed, it was easy coming in and out. Not anymore. 441 and 436 are the main arteries, and they are at the breaking point during rush hour. And there's a proposed 577-acre development called the Palushi Acres on West Poncan Road, 1,150 single-family lots, apartments, retail, that residents are actively fighting right now because the roads simply cannot absorb it. This is not a future speculation. This is happening. Drive your actual commute route at 7:30 in the morning before you buy, not Google Maps at midnight on a Sunday. The real thing. I'll be back. Okay, con 2, crime data. The citywide number runs about 28% above the national average. That's publicly available FBI data, not my opinion. As a licensed Florida realtor, I can share that city-level statistic, but fair housing laws exist for a reason. I respect them. I'm not going to characterize specific streets or areas. What I will do is point you to the tools. Crimemapping.com give you address-level crime data pulled directly from law enforcement. Type it in and see any address you're considering. Links will be in the description. Use them before you make an offer. Con 3, downtown Apopka is a work in progress. The city has a walkability plan approved. Residents have been vocal about wanting more restaurants and shops, but right now you are driving everywhere. If a walkable downtown is non-negotiable for you, Apopka isn't there yet. Isn't this beautiful? This is a lot of Florida, guys. So who actually wins in Apopka? Let me be specific, because vague answers don't help anyone. Remote workers win here. And this is a bigger deal than people realize. About 19% of Apopka's workforce is already working from home, which is well above the national average. If you don't have a daily Orlando commute, the traffic con will disappear completely. And what you're left with is incredible outdoor access, solid schools, and a home price that actually lets you breathe financially. The Wekiwa Springs on a Tuesday morning with nobody there, that's not a small thing. Families who got priced out of Winter Garden or Horizon West win here. If $208 a square foot with above average schools and no state income tax fits your equation, this market makes sense right now. The window where Apopka is affordable relative to the rest of the metro is not going to stay open forever. The growth pressure alone tells you that. And here's a detail that surprised everybody. Shows Apopka has more computer and more math workers than 95% of US cities this size. Nearly 19% of residents work from home. Smart, income, remote workers have been quietly moving here for years and not telling anybody. That tends to be a leading indicator where the market goes next. The outdoor lifestyle buyer wins here too. And what I want to be clear about, this is not a resort style pool and community clubhouse. This is actual wilderness. If what you want is actual Florida, Wekiwa, Kelly Park, Lake Apopka, West Orange Trail Extension connecting into a bigger network, Apopka delivers that in a way no amount of money can replicate in a planned master community. Major employers on the ground here include Advent Health, Apopka, and Orange County Public Schools. If you work locally and live locally, the commute problem goes away entirely. So if you're trying to figure out Orlando and you don't want to piece it together from 40 different websites, I put together a full relocation guide. Neighborhood breakdowns, commute realities, insurance zones, the stuff people usually learn about after they move. It's free in the link below. Scan the QR code on the screen and it'll take you straight to it. Here's the verdict, and I mean this as someone who's helped families relocate to Central Florida for a living and who's made this exact move myself. Apopka is for the buyer who's willing to do the homework. It rewards patience and research. The value is real. The outdoor scene is some of the best in the state. The schools are solid. and the market is genuinely underpriced right now relative to everything around it. Apopka is not for the buyer who needs a polished, walkable downtown, who can't handle the commute, or who wants someone else to make every decision for them. Do your homework on every single property before you make an offer. Every time. Here's the honest truth about timing. Apopka is at an injection point right now. Growth is already here. The question is whether the infrastructure keeps pace or falls further behind. That is an open question, but the value relative to the rest of the metro is also real, and it's not going to last indefinitely. The growth pressure in Apopka is real, and it's going to define this city for the next decade. The question is whether you get in while the value is still here, or whether you wait until the infrastructure catches up and you pay significantly more for the same house. That is the Apopka calculation. It's not a simple yes or no. It's a timing decision, and it depends entirely on your specific situation. Hey, and if you want to talk through your situation, your commute, your budgets, or which parts of Apopka make sense for your family, reach out to me directly. I'm Believen Steven. Yeah! Call, text 321-297-4742. Days, nights, or weekends. Email me, steven@believensteven.com. I answer. Subscribe to the channel if this kind of content is useful. Every Saturday, 8 a.m., something new. Central Florida is what it is. And drop a comment below. Tell me if you like this video. Tell me what city you want me to do next. Or tell me your biggest question about relocating. I read everyone and I'll respond to everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by.